okay, I had already spoke about this publicly, be it on Twitter, Facebook, and what have you. And I wanted to, I was going to do a video, but I figured I'd just save it for the actual show because this is something that's very important and that I want to acknowledge. Now, I don't know if you guys know, but some of you do, because not only have I talked about it, a lot of people over there in the Money Libertarian and even the conservative community talked about Dr. Walter E. Williams passing. I don't know if it was yesterday morning or it was the day before at night, but he passed away. I believe he was 84-ish. I may have the age wrong. And, you guys have heard me say that there's two people that led me to the path to where I'm at now, being libertarian. And of course, the one that I always lead with is Dr. Walter E. Williams. I don't have idols and I don't generally have heroes, but if there were to be one, it would be one. It would only be two, but one would be Walter Williams for sure. And yeah, of course, I was like bummed out. I mean, anybody would be bummed out that a legend like that would pass away, and this would, I guess, impact me more than, like, to say general celebrity, because this guy actually impacted my life. But the reason why I wasn't as like choked up, I have absolutely no regrets, because I had the opportunity to meet Dr. Walter E. Williams and tell him not only what he meant to me, but what he meant to just going into detail as far as getting me to the path. And I told him to his face, in the flesh. And I had that opportunity to do that. And that was one of my favorite, I guess, milestones, if you will, if there is to be one, that in terms of an accomplishment. I do feel like that's an accomplishment, to be able to meet someone that that impacted, your life, but to be able to tell them that, and certainly to their eyes, to their face, because sometimes it's hard to really magnify the impact that some people have on other individuals. And I made it a point to there was no way that I could go. Obviously, he was older, but there was no way that I would go without being able to talk to him and tell him that to him. It's one thing to shoot him off an email or something like that. So if you look at my Twitter, you look at my Facebook, I posted a picture of him and I, Dr. Walter E. Williams and I'm cheesing sort of ear to ear. Let me tell you a story about that. I've told it before, but I don't think I've told it on the show or anything. So that night that I first met Dr. Walter E. Williams was a night he was doing a speaking engagement out actually here in Dallas. And I was as tentative as I've ever been doing a speech or speaking engagement or anything. And it ends, right? He had obviously some great things to say, and it ends. And they was like, all right, you guys, if people want to meet Walter, he'll be over here, blah, blah, blah. And so I am, because I was at the back of the I guess, little auditorium or whatever that he was speaking in. And so I start to try to make my way up to the front. And one of the hilarious thing is, obviously, because it's Walter Williams who is speaking, we have a bunch of guys that are there that understand like libertarianism, that are among the libertarian and some even conservative community. So many of them knew who I was. So I obviously it wasn't about me. So I'm trying to walk there and I'm getting cut off by a million people sitting here like, oh, wait, that's Eric July. Hey, would you mind taking a picture? Sure. And I'm sitting here like, I'm not the star of the show, bros. Like, this is the man, and I'm trying to get to him. So how other people, I guess, maybe saw Walter in that instance, in the same time, or how other people saw me, I guess, I saw Walter. So I'm trying to get to Walter. They're trying to get to me. And I end up now, dude, it's not even this, the auditorium was a decent size, but it's not even this like long ramp way to try to get to him. But I probably took like 35 pictures with people just trying to make my way to Walter. And it took a while, but I finally got there. And the thing that caught me by surprise was as I was talking to him, he didn't know it was me, but he knew of me. So I of course I went into it with the idea that that Walter had absolutely no idea who the hell I was. And I just shook his hand and I thanked him. I told him I was beginning to tell him who I was. And he was like, oh, you're blah, blah, blah. Yeah, my colleague said this, and that. And it caught me by surprise that he even knew of me, right? So, of course, I chatted with him a little bit. And, I wasted absolutely no time telling Walter, this is exactly what you meant to me. And told I broke it down, and I was like, this was, because I do think that's a very, very important. It was a very important thing for me to do. And being able to have had that opportunity, that's one of those things that, again, it felt great. And though it sucked to hear that Walter had passed, it was one of those things where I was like, man, at the very least, I got to tell the person who almost I don't want to say single-handedly, because there is two of them. It's him and another person. That led me to this journey, but I at least got to tell that man what he had meant to me. And was an important milestone, because I think that is so very important to do in the event, because you have no idea when people are going to pass away. Accidents happen, things happen. And if you got something to say to someone that you either care about, I think it's important that you get that stuff out there to them. Certainly if it's someone that impacted your life in a way that Walter did. I can't even overstate what it is that he had meant to me. And when I was going through my journey at 18, 19, 20 years of age, and getting to where I was, and, looking at him, state against blacks and all of that. And there is no Eric July, there's no Ripper without that man. And I was thankful as I don't know what, to be able to meet him and to be able to talk to him, not only and talk to him, but more importantly, tell him what exactly that man meant to me. That was an awesome thing. So with that being said, of course, rest in peace to Walter. And he's a great man, great man. I can't overstate what it was that he meant to myself, and I'm sure he meant to a lot of other people. And there's a big shoes that have to get filled. I think he was a very necessary thing for that movement, for the libertarian movement, considering how long he had been doing this. It sucks to see things coming to fruition that he had warned us about. But there's some shoes that I don't know if anybody's ever going to fill. Had people posting in my comments like, well, now you got to carry the torch. I want people to understand there is no way that could happen, considering that man, whether it be I'm not even just speaking to his academic accomplishments, he has there is no filling the shoes of Dr. Walter Williams. There's no carrying the torch. It's one of those things that at minimum I guess we can do is try to take what it is that we picked up from him, and taking that to heart, to keep that in mind, everything it is that we do. But that man was way too brilliant for someone to be able to say, all right, well, he did this, now we're going into another generation. And I appreciate that people that would say things like that. I mean, it's flattering, but in the same respects, that's a very special man. And may his soul absolutely rest in peace. He lived a very long life, an accomplished life, and I'm sure that man has absolutely no regrets. At least in that regard. So I just wanted to say that bit. I, of course, had to lead with that on the show. Tremendous man. Rest in peace, of course, Dr. Walter E. Williams.